A toddler's death aboard a cruise ship now becoming even more heartbreaking as the grandfather who was holding the child before she fell out of an open window is now charged with negligent homicide by Puerto Rican officials. Joining me now is Andrew Stoltmann, trial attorney and adjunct law professor. The guilt and the grief, not enough, I guess? He has to be punished as well?
It's just silly. These charges never should have been brought. It's a classic case of prosecutorial overreach. Everybody agrees this is a tragic accident. There's no intent. There's no desire to harm this child. It is her grandfather who did this. He's already in the ultimate prison. Now you file charges on top? It's ridiculous.
Take a listen to their family attorney, Michael Winkleman. He was on earlier today.
They were already grieving so tremendously for Chloe's loss, and now for them to charge Sam for this, which was really, in their eyes, just completely unnecessary. They didn't want to press charges. They didn't want to see him charged. Everybody agrees this was an accident, so they're really left wondering why it is that the Puerto Rican authorities decided to prosecute.
Why do you think they decided to prosecute, Andrew?
Oh, look, I have a theory on this, right? You have Royal Caribbean, and they are facing a massive lawsuit from the parents. Royal Caribbean wants these charges to be filed against the grandfather because they're going to play pin the tail on the donkey on the grandfather to try to slither off the hook with respect to liability, right? What cruise line has a window wide open in a kid's play area? Did the grandfather make a mistake? Of course he did. But you don't have that window open. You have Puerto Rico, which is willing to likely cater to a big employer in Royal Caribbean. I think Royal Caribbean is the ultimate bad actor in this event.
And do you think that the family would be able to get these charges dropped?
I don't think so. I think prosecutors are going for the throat on these charges. I think there's going to be a trial, and that's the good news. Because if that jury has any parents on that jury, they're going to say, wait a minute, this guy loved his granddaughter. There's no way he'd intentionally do this. I will bet everything I got that he's found not guilty.
And then this trial would take place in Puerto Rico?
It will be in Puerto Rico, and it'll likely be a jury trial, yes.
All right, Andrew Stoltmann, if you'll stick around with us, we have another story we want to get to. There's a former Boston college student who allegedly urged her boyfriend to kill himself, and now she is charged with involuntary manslaughter in his suicide. Molly Line has this story for us from Boston. Molly?
And Dana, this South Korean woman was indicted by a grand jury in her boyfriend's suicide after investigators say he was suffering unrelenting abuse, documented extensively in text messages that she's alleged to have sent telling him to kill himself. Prosecutors want to see the former Boston college student return to the United States to face justice. It was on the morning of his graduation day, May 20th, 2019, that Alexander Urtula, 22, leapt to his death from a parking garage as his family waited to watch him walk in the Boston College ceremony that was slated to begin a little more than an hour later. Prosecutors say In Young-yu, 21, was there. And in the 2 months prior to his desperate jump, the couple had exchanged more than 75,000 texts, most sent by Yu, who repeatedly